So thank you everyone for coming out. My name is Lindsay Spear. I am the Finger Lakes Regional Coordinator for New Yorkers Against Fracking. And we are having a little bit of a press conference here tonight. So first off, I'd like to introduce Sandra Steingraber, speaking on behalf of concerned health professionals of New York. And we're here to state our opposition to the power plant.
Well, hi everyone. Thanks for turning out tonight. My name is Sandra Steingraber. I live in Trumansburg, New York, and I'm here tonight representing concerned health professionals of New York. I'm a biologist who looks at environmental health. So here we are in Dresden, New York, and three things happened in 1937 in that particular year. One was that the book Gone with the Wind won the Pulitzer Prize. The other is that the rotary dial desk phone first came on the market. And the third thing that happened in 1937 is that the Greenwich power plant was built. So this is now a 78-year-old power plant that has been defunct for some years. And our message tonight to Governor Cuomo, to the people of Yates County, to the Public Service Commission is represented on our banner. The people of the Finger Lakes are opposed to repowering this defunct, mothballed plant that used to burn coal and expose the original workers to asbestos, to bring it back to life now and to repower it with another dirty fossil fuel gas is a step backwards rather than a step forwards, and is especially contrary to the governor's own plan, the Reforming Energy Vision Initiative. So in a few weeks, the world will be gathering in Paris. 190 nations will talk about how to divest from fossil fuel, how to leave it in the ground and move beyond coal, oil, and gas, and do solar, wind, and sun for energy. And here we are in Dresden, bringing new fossil fuels online. That is, so we're here with three messages tonight. It's not necessary and it's not convenient. We also have health and environmental concerns, which many of us will express. And finally, it makes no economic sense. This plant is going to become a fossil fuel ball and chain around the leg of the Finger Lakes. What we want instead is clean, renewable energy. And so we'll be hearing about the health and environmental effects tonight inside. We'll be hearing about the economic effects and how this is a backwards, nonsensical decision, and we oppose it. Thanks.
So next up we have Peter Gamba from Committee to Preserve the Finger Lakes.
Ooh. Good evening. I'm a member of the Committee to Preserve the Finger Lakes, and I'd just like to read something that we've put together. We started looking at this a couple of months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago, and we don't think it's an interesting, good idea. So what I do have here is community-based questions addressing the health, safety, and welfare of the area. There's no public need for more electricity. The capacity of electricity in central New York region, which is where Dresden is located, there is approximately 2 times the need. It comes from NYISO load capacity report. And so what that essentially says is we don't need any extra energy around here. The opening of the Dresden plan is contrary to New York State Reform Energy Vision. And the quote, first and foremost, REV targets a 40% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions from 1990 to 2030. So we don't need to do gas. The biomass to gas they talk about at Dresden doesn't, how does it work? It's not state-of-the-art technology. An old plant is an inefficient gas producer. Voltage, inefficient energy producer. Voltage lower in the area as suggested by Greenwich. They suggested in a tour last week that one of the reasons why they needed the plant was because the voltage levels were low. The proof of that needs to be shared and proven. Address existing and less expensive engineering ways to fix voltage problem versus creating a new plant. The environmental compatibility. Gas is not the best practice. Gas is not sustainable in the long term. Solar, hydro are possible alternatives. The risk. The water cooling process. heat exchange and intake, it challenges the fish, and then there's reduced gas emissions. The business plan, we asked about the business plan, troubled by lack of information on the business. The community and elected officials are operating in the dark as to the viability of the business. The business talk is jobs and taxes, and there is too much unknown about the business plan, the income and its risks. As the community plans for multi-generational long-term sustainability, the following areas need to be addressed from a holistic standpoint that addresses the health, safety, and welfare of the community. The focused areas include the environment and renewable energy, creating a just society that works for all. Economics of energy generations creates jobs and taxes. Community well-being, now and for future generations. Food and livability. Let us move forward addressing these issues via help from the Public Service Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Peter is, of course, a Yates County resident. And now I'd like to invite Suzanne Hunt from Hunt Green LLC to come up and talk about renewable energy.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. So I haven't had a lot of time to prepare notes, so I'll just share a couple of things that I've learned about the plant and a few of the things that I know about the context in which this discussion is happening. So starting in 2013, the whole worldwide power sector installed more renewable energy generation capacity than all fossil fuel and nuclear capacity combined, 2014, 2015, and as far as we can tell into the future, renewable energy is now outcompeting fossil fuels. I work with a lot of investors, and when I'm looking at this old plant, I'm trying to understand how they could possibly be competitive with existing gas plants, because we know from looking at the New York ISO reports that there's a huge excess in natural gas capacity in our region. This plant is, as other speakers have mentioned, currently not especially efficient. So my current understanding is that the folks that are pushing for this plant to be reopened want there to be tax revenue for the community, and that's something I completely understand. I would like that as well. And I think they also are looking at jobs for the community. And so when I look at the options for this particular facility and for the land that the company owns, my understanding is that it would be a far better investment to put utility scale solar, which is now starting to outcompete even gas, or some combination, some hybrid system. They already have some biomass capacity already installed. So my thoughts would be for the company to put out a request for proposals and see what the innovative advanced energy industry comes up with. You know, one of the things that the investors look at is risk, and you know, if someone had explained an iPhone to me 15 years ago, I would have had no idea. And we just have no idea what the power sector is going to look at. We have, like, in 10, 15 years. These are long-term investments. We have no idea what the gas prices will be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. But we know that the cost of sunshine will still be free. We know that the cost of wind will still be free. So when I'm looking at how I can best advise the community to have long-term tax revenue, long-term job security for folks in the community, I see this whole conflict over the potential for this facility as an opportunity for a cutting-edge renewable energy investment that would actually draw some of the best and brightest minds from the state and from the country to our area, and could become a model and become a long-term secure source of revenue for the community. So I'm actually really excited for the possibility of taking what is currently a source of tension in the community and turning it into a source of pride. And I think the company is open to those ideas, and I'm hoping that myself and other professionals that work on these types of technologies can be helpful. So, and I'm happy to answer any questions that people have afterwards as well.
So as we've heard from our speakers, it's clear that this power plant, as it's currently proposed, leaves a lot of questions unanswered. One of which is clearly, how does the economics of this facility work? They're planning to use it only as what they call a peaker plant, as far as we understand at this time. And according to the New York ISO's 2015 Power Trends report, there is no need. We have tons of capacity in this area, even with some of the large power plants shutting down like Fitzpatrick. We have twice as much capacity as we actually have need in this area for power. The power that's being proposed from this plant is only 106 megawatts. There is a huge list of projects on the New York ISO site that are also coming online that are similarly sized, if not greater, that are wind projects. There's a lot of opportunity to look for alternatives here. We don't need to be building more pipelines to bring up frack gas from Pennsylvania to burn in a fossil fuel power plant. Fossil fuels are the way of the past, and we need to look towards a much brighter future. Thank you.